video, we're going to talk about Cardano, a project with so much promise, down 88% from all-time highs. Is this a project which has any hope for the next bull run? Can it 10x? Can it 20x? Can it 38x in this 2024 halving year? We're going to break down what I expect from Cardano, whether this is a project I'm continuing to add, and whether I'm still favorable on Cardano. If you appreciate this type of content, smash on the likes. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want to trade with us, you can do so. Ijaz.uk/TG. Now, guys, let's get straight into this one here. You can see Cardano sitting here down 4.78% today, despite most of the markets here pulling back, seeing a little bit of a drop back on altcoins. But we want to take a longer term perspective on this and look at the price action here on Cardano. You can see we are severely down here from all-time highs of that $3.10 mark back in the 2021 period. But now we're sat here at 36 cents. Is there a chance of this project climbing to the upside, and does it have hope? In my opinion, we're going to break that down and a lot more. Now, the first thing to understand here with Cardano is we need to take a look at its market cap, right? We need to take a look at its market cap, and we can see it's sat here at just shy of $13 billion here on Cardano. To put that into perspective with the projects above it, Solana with its recent pump here is sitting at $24 billion. So straight away here, Solana has a twice valuation of Cardano already, and you can make the argument, to and fro between which one's better, which one you prefer, but there are many things which I'm going to point out as to why Cardano does still have a favorable future. Now, we need to start off with this. When you compare things like Cardano to a project like Solana, you need to understand the fundamental differences, right? There are two different ways you can build companies or projects, in this case in crypto. You can have the move fast, be reckless, and break things approach. Similar to how Facebook did things with stocks, right? Just go and break stuff, break the law if you have to. It doesn't matter. Just grow this company at any cost. We'll pay the fines later. And that's the approach I'd like to use as an example with Solana, right? They move fast, they want to get adoption, and sometimes they have some downtime and they break their system. But it's okay. People are going to remember because we're fast, we're cheap, people can use us, and we've got a bunch of use cases, and we get early adopter advantage. And then on the other side, you get that slow, methodical, regulatory approach, which is, let's think of like Coinbase, the exchange, right? Which is registered in the US. It's on the NASDAQ. They're not going to grow as fast as a BYBIT or a BINANCE, but they're just going, you know what? We want to do things the right way. And in terms of cryptos, Cardano is that project. Cardano is that project that's saying, you know what? We're based on peer-reviewed, academic researched, properly built systems and processes, and we do not rush things. We will not be pressured by Twitter or YouTube influencers to release an upgrade when it's not ready yet. We're going to do things by the book. We're going to make sure the technology is right. We're going to make sure the security is strong, and we will move at our own pace. We will not be moved by the social ether. And you can have a debate as to which one's right, which one's wrong. My personal opinion, I like both approaches. And for many, many years now, I've made videos saying this is one of the reasons why I continue to DCA into ADA. I cannot have a portfolio full of Solanas and Phantoms where things are moving fast and being a little bit more reckless. I want things which are a bit more systemized as well, which is why I'd want to hedge my portfolio with something like a Cardano. And for that reason, it's had a lot of frustration, particularly in this, kind of crypto space where everybody wants pumpability right away. The price action of ADA is one of the most frustrating price actions of any altcoin out there, right? So many people who hold ADA get really, really frustrated, and they end up dumping it because they do not have the patience. You need patience with altcoins, but with Cardano, you need a special level of patience. I mean, even to look at this right now, with the recent euphoria we've had here over the last 4 weeks, look at Cardano. It's moved into its EMA ribbon, but even now, it's not managed to reclaim its EMA ribbon. Let's compare that to something like Solana. Look at Solana. It's gone past its EMA ribbon, it's broken trend, and it's reclaimed it weeks ago. Let's look at something else. Let's use a Polygon Matic. It's above its EMA ribbon. Let's look at Avalanche, above its EMA ribbon. So you can see Cardano is always one of these in terms of price action where it lags the rest of the market. But one thing is for sure, when ADA does decide to move, it will move, and it does have its moves. And that's where you've seen in the last cycle, if you guys slept on Cardano, you would have missed out on crazy pumps. And it was particularly a couple of weeks, right? If you look at the couple of weeks here on ADA, this week was 20%, this week was 33%, and then this week was 30%. So if you missed out on being on Cardano in those 3 weeks, weeks. You missed the pump all the way here to this candle high of 250. Then it had a long frustrating period again, and then off it went. If you missed this week of 50% and then missed this week of 25% and this week of 5%, you missed all the gains, taking you up to $3.10 here on Cardano. So you have to be very, very methodical with Cardano and very patient, which is kind of like how they are as well. So that's one thing to understand with Cardano. Now, the other thing we need to understand is, are they actually making progress, right? Are they actually progressing with their roadmaps? And you can take a look at their weekly development reports, which I every so often check in on, and you can see that, one of the biggest kind of attacks towards Cardano in the previous cycle was that, oh, look, Cardano has this crazy market cap, but they're not building anything. There's no building. And I kind of understood it. And I kind of made videos at the time sharing my thoughts transparently that, yeah, they're kind of right, but it's not Cardano's fault. You got to remember what the landscape was at the time if you go back further enough. If you go back further enough, you had your Bitcoin, you had your Ethereum, and then Cardano was supposed to be like the other one which competed with Ethereum. It was the alternative. And so when people were looking to invest and they thought they missed the Bitcoin hype and they thought they missed the Ethereum hype, they would go and research Cardano and decide whether to invest in Cardano. And so Cardano got a really big market cap and was managing to hold its position in the top 5 for a very long period of time, despite other layer 1 solutions coming up the ranks along the bottom and having much more in total value locked, many better projects, many better use cases. And people are like, hang on, Cardano's overvalued here. They don't even have their smart contract platform launched. There's no total value locked. There's no use cases on there. It's just a ghost chain. And that was the criticism of it. And it was understandable at that point, because you had Solana spinning up with loads of people using it. You even had Phantom, you had Algorand, you had Avalanche, you had all these other layer 1 solutions out there driving use cases. And then Cardano was still waiting for its smart contract platform. But things have changed now. Through this bear market, they've actually been putting in work. And that's the key. You've got to keep building in a bear market. How many times have I said that? If you're holding onto a project and DCAing into a project which is not building through the bear market, that is a major red flag for you. The bear market is a time for a project to do two things. Not pump in price, not get attention on social media. It's to survive, make sure they got enough runway and capital, and build. Build. And then they can come out to the party in the bull cycle. And for me, I think I'm going to break down why Cardano here could have a really, really powerful defining 2024 and next bull run. So when you look at it, you can see here, if you look at the stats here, so 148 projects launched, 1,295 projects building, 80,000 token policies, 77.6 million transactions, 9 million native tokens. We're starting to see activity. And that's further bolstered by the fact that you can look at their TVL. And if you look at their TVL, it's now sitting at $250 million, which is really good. It now basically puts them here, if we jump back a step here, and take a look at the other chains, it puts them actually up there in the ranks with some of the other major blockchains. I mean, if we put it into perspective here, Ethereum sat at 25 billion, miles and far ahead. Then it takes a big drop down into Tron, which is sat at 8.3 billion. Remember, this is a bear market, so a lot of these numbers are suppressed. Loads of money left DeFi and layer 1 blockchains. You then have Binance Smart Chain here sitting at 3 billion, Arbitrum at 2 billion, Polygon 840 million. And when you go down, you'll see Cardano sits at 12th spot, which is not too shabby, to be honest. It's $250 million here, and it can start working its way up. It's already got 29 protocols up, and when you click into it, what you'll find interesting here on Cardano is that during that bear market where TVL was bleeding from many other projects, Cardano quietly started to bring TVL in, and you can see this from 2023 here, where my cursor is. They had a steady uptick, and particularly here over the last couple of weeks, a nice big uptick in total value locked. And a lot of that is being now spread out amongst their top 5 protocols, which is 2 lending platforms, Optim Finance, Liquid is another lending protocol, MinSwap seems to be the standout DEX on Cardano, and then a CDP, which is like a debt position platform known as Indigo, which a lot of people are starting to use as well. So we're starting to see some early signs of DeFi use cases on Cardano, and that's really positive for the Cardano ecosystem and use cases. So that's really good. The other thing worth noticing, seeing here on Cardano, is that you've got to actually understand that they're working on different phases, right? They had their Gogan phase, they're working on their Basho phase, which will then give them a bunch of scalability, and that's going to be really, really exciting. I mean, if you take a look at this, they're also working on Project Catalyst. Project Catalyst is a decentralized funding platform that allows Cardano community to vote on which project should receive funding. They're working on Atala Prism, which is a decentralized identity platform. We know that Charles Hodgkinson is super obsessed with using Cardano as an an identity platform, particularly for some of the third world countries and many countries in Africa as well. Milko Media, we've heard a lot about, is a project that will allow Cardano to interact with other blockchains, i.e. giving you some interoperability, which is very important. EVM sidechains for scalability, and Hydra Head Start as well, again, to provide scalability. So if you look at what they were trying to do, is they were focusing on doing Goguen, right? Goguen was going to give them increased functionality, give them scalability, give them security, and bring TVL into the ecosystem, which we're starting to see the early signs of, and hopefully they can continue that through the bull market. But then they wanted to move on to Basho giving them that scalability, right? Once you've built the base, now go scale it. And they seem to be delivering on that, which is really, really good. But for me, what's really, really important, and kind of the point that's wrapped up here in this conclusion, for me, the most important thing with Cardano is this: the solid foundation, and 2, the security. Those are the 2 reasons I invest in Cardano. I personally do not invest in Cardano because it's groundbreaking technology. No, I think there's a lot more exciting technology being built by some of the newer layer 1 solutions. I don't buy into Cardano because of its crazy speed or crazy scalability. No, I buy into Cardano because of Charles Hodgkinson, the IOHK Foundation, and the team, and their approach to building a project. Being slow, being methodical, being peer academic research-based, and doing it that way. Because the reality is, if the winner of this layer 1 battle over the next couple of years is going to be a fast-moving blockchain, great. I'm going to have exposure to many exciting blockchains. But what if it's the other way? What if it's the case that all of these other projects like a Solana or a Phantom and all these other ones run so fast and trip over themselves that the slow tortoise who was doing it methodically over a period of 5 to 6, 7, 8 years of slow methodical work suddenly comes out in the limelight, and they're the de facto competitor to Ethereum. And that's one of the reasons I hold and continue to DCA into Phantom. And so the question then rises, is what are the price targets, right? Where do I think this project can go? And the first way to look at this is from a technical perspective is let's look at some of the Fibonacci extensions. And so if you take the 0 level and you look at the golden ratio here, which is your 0.618 to 0.65 mark, I'm looking at Cardano comfortably getting into this golden pocket, right? And that would give you a $2 holding here on Cardano. So when you're buying here at 36 cents, and of course, some of you guys were managing to buy much lower at 24 cents, etc., what a great risk to return to get that kind of a return up to $2. You're talking at least here almost a 10x here on your money. Then you're looking at some kind of more exciting price targets, which is kind of getting back to all-time highs at $3.10. But then even more, looking at the Fibonacci extension, the golden extension, which brings you to $4.86. And I think that's the level at the very least you're going to want to be looking at here when jumping into Cardano. But we need to look at it from a different perspective as well, and that is looking at it from a market cap perspective, because the reality is, one, you may want the price to move, but that also means you need to look at the market cap. And so if we take ADA's current market cap, if it was to reach the Bitcoin market cap of today, which is sitting at 721 million, that's crazy, by the way, you're looking at a 55x. I think we can say that's just a little bit crazy. Let's drop it down to Ethereum. What if Cardano's the size of Ethereum today, which is $240 million? I know that sounds crazy, but if you think about it over a long enough time perspective, the whole crypto market cap's going to grow, right? Bitcoin's going to grow, Ethereum's going to grow into the next bull market, and you're going to expect Bitcoin to knock on 2-3 trillion on its own. You're going to expect Ethereum to work its way towards 1 trillion. And so really the question you're saying is, can Cardano be about a quarter of the size of Ethereum in the next bull market? And it's an argument you can make, and that would give you a 20x here on your money and will bring Cardano up to the $7 mark with a market cap of $247 billion. So it's a quarter of a trillion here for it to do a 20x. Let's say you think that's too much and you drop it down a little bit more. What if it can get to XRP's current market cap, right? XRP is currently sitting at $34 billion in market cap. Can it reach that during the next bull run? And that's a 2.7x. So these are kind of much more conservative levels. And again, I'm pretty sure a lot of you think it could do a lot more than that, right? So really what you want to probably be looking at is, can it get to kind of that Ethereum level of 240, or even if it just gets to 200 million, it'll be a huge risk to return here on Cardano. Now, one of the other things that are really important in terms of my thinking around Cardano, and I think this whole bull run is going to be fueled by this narrative, is this narrative around spot ETFs. And I don't think people are connecting the dots quite quickly enough. So a lot of people are talking about the Bitcoin spot ETF. Fine, we expect that to at some point get approved. There's only so long that Gary Gensler and the SEC can kick that can down the road. It looks like we're going to get one. And so the narrative then moves towards Ethereum. And we're already seeing that Grayscale are applying for an Ethereum ETF. Great stuff. So others will start to apply for Ethereum spot ETFs. Great. Where's it going to go next? And my thesis for this is there are a few key players who are in the race after Bitcoin and Ethereum to get a spot ETF. And I think this whole next bull cycle could be fueled on ETFs. And when you look at the criteria for which projects are likely to be in the running for ETFs, those are the ones which are going to be institutionally friendly. And we look at it right now, which projects would you say are screaming out at you that we are institutionally friendly? I've got a few in my head. Right? You got Ethereum. We know that's going through. Then you've got XRP. XRP now being the only altcoin on the market with at least some regulatory clarity where a judge has actually ruled on if it's a security or not. Also, factor in the fact that if Ethereum gets its spot ETF, it would have set a precedence for a proof-of-stake blockchain layer 1 smart contracts platform to get a spot ETF. And that should open up the floodgates for others to get the same, such as XRP and such as Cardano. Because again, Cardano is built as an institutionally friendly blockchain. It's always been one of their mission objectives is to make sure that they're institutionally friendly. I think Charles Hodgkinson and IOHK have done a great job at that. So if you're looking at the list of which altcoins do you think are likely to get those altcoins, XRP, Solana, we already know there's a G-Sol out there with Grayscale, and also Cardano. So for me, after Bitcoin and Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. For that reason, I'm personally going to be looking to keep dollar cost averaging in Cardano. Yes, I'm fully aware it's a frustrating project. It can take time, but they're sitting at $250 million in total value locked here in this bear market. They've not broken anything, not had any crazy downtime. Yeah, people get frustrated at their lack of progress, but that's normal with Cardano. I'm not investing in them for their speed. I've just explained that, and therefore it deserves a small percentage of the layer 1 section of my portfolio. Of course, none of this constitutes financial advice, guys. Please, like you're doing during this video, do your own research, build your own conviction, understand which projects do you personally want to hold. Investment decisions can be risky, and you've got to put in your work. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you found this video useful. Smash up the likes, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.